The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday to you. I hope you've had a great weekend. Some challenge in my end. 12, 13-hour power outage, I think it was. Anyway, we're here. We're good. Power came back on about 3 hours ago. Yeah, but anyway, those things aside, I'm delighted to see you all here on what could well be the last of these sessions. We shall see. If it is, then I want to take this opportunity to say how wonderful you've all been. I've been running these now for over 6 years, and I will forever be grateful for all the support, all the fun times, all the not so fun times when markets are going a bit wobbly. Thank you very much for it all. Anyway, let's get into the session today. We've got a few things to cover, obviously quite a bit going on. With this important message, just to remind you to do your own due diligence on anything you see here. Make sure you follow trading plans and, of course, manage risk on every trading action. Whether you're watching it here or on GoToWebinar, whether you're watching it live on YouTube or whether you're playing catch up on the YouTube recording, thank you one and all for saying hello. Oh, I'm still here. I'm just being there's a change of direction to go, so it involves a change of direction for me too. On discussion. Anyway, I'm going to be kicking around Go for the next little while. Charlie does have a phone back. Thanks for the heads up on the AV. Yeah, Sam, good job. We didn't have our session yesterday because otherwise, because I was thrown into darkness. Good morning, Brian. Hi, Shane and Hugh. Yeah, you can always connect with me. I'm not going away. So those of you who connect with me via other means, that'll still be good. Hi, Roger. Hope you're well. Right. Okay. Let's get into something. Okay. So let's start with Friday. Friday was an interesting day. US equities is generally soft. If we just quickly flick and have a look where they were, you can see that tech was weak, which was sort of interesting because most of the tech earnings had sort of come in okay. Russell was particularly weak. Now, why do we think these two were weak? Well, these two usually suffer when there is a sort of move by the Fed or a market moved by the Fed that is hawkish. So what happened was there's a nomination that made by Trump, and it's somewhat surprising. It's traditionally a Fed hawk. Now, of course, Trump's been going on and calling Jerome Powell names about he calls him too late because he's always too late, and then he nominates a hawk who's got a history of doing that. So that's sort of interesting. Let's just have a look at the futures while we're here. You can see they're actually lower than they were again. Soft expectations from Europe, and you can see that commodities keep on selling off. Silver was down 31%, I think. Gold was down about 10%. Gold pulled back from its high. Crude oil looks a little wobbly again. Asia is down. It gapped down significantly. Now, the reason why it might be down in Asia is the absence of any geopolitical action, which many thought was going to happen over the weekend. Anyway, here's the USD looking strong. The coin is also getting smashed in the technical term. So let's just pop into the earnings scorecard, which is actually quite positive. There's only a third companies reported earnings at this stage. 75% have beaten EPS expectations and 65 revenue EPS. That earnings growth rate for the S&P 500 is 11.9%. That's actually not bad at all. It's better than the markets originally thought. So there's a mixed bag of stuff going on. There's the ASX today. Come back and have a deeper dive on that later. What I want to do is just go here. So we've seen the US futures units from early Asian trading. ASX down about 0.8%. European futures indicating a cautious start later today. So geopolitical situation dampened down a little bit, though that doesn't stop anything happening in a heartbeat. Earnings, obviously we've still got 2/3 to report, but at this stage the figures look good. Now, because we've done a US, because in the US we saw the Treasury yields and the US dollar bounce off support, as I said, gold 10%. Weaker again in Asia so far. Copper also pulled down from record highs, which are here on Thursday. And oil gapped down from 5-month lows this morning, which is interesting. Bitcoin smashed through the next support level at seen since April, so that's what 10-month highs, 10-month low, sorry. And then we've got a couple of the big tech boys this week, but global PMI data is the highlight today. If we just quickly pop on the Forex Factory, you can see there is some scores on the doors come across already. There's the manufacturing PMI coming out of Japan as expected. This is going to be interesting because there was manufacturing PMI numbers came out over the weekend, which weren't very good. I don't think out of China, but you can see there. Later on, we've got German, the Eurozone as a whole, GB, and US and Canada. Just took them all in. If we look at later on this week, we've got the RBA statement tomorrow. The expectation is, of course, that they are likely to raise rates. Let's just see what the latest scores on the doors are. There we go. It just, every time you look at it, it just gets worse. So yeah, almost a 0.75% chance they're going to raise rates. And let's just check out on what Asia's doing as well. Okay, so everything else is looking a little shaky. Yeah, see, markets like it because he's a hawk, generally speaking. It means he's more likely to. Traditionally, he's been quite sort of cautious to drop rates. Yeah. Anyway, let's just quickly have a look at some of the asset classes. Here's Bitcoin, as I said. Lows not seen since back here in April 2025. Let's look at the assets. They've got a bit of a belt in his gold, and you can see that continuation. So we've dropped from touching a somewhat remarkable 5,600 intraday. Then we've just got absolutely mutilated. So we're down around about $1,000. There's copper. So there was the record highs. There was reversal. Not a dreadful sell-off in column. That below $6. Back testing this key level. You can see how it was supported here and here at about 582. So and there's oil with that gap down. So oil had actually hit its highs not seen since September. But you can see that gap down on an absence of anything interesting coming out of the Middle East. In terms of the indices, as I said, a little shy. Let's just it's on a daily chart so you can see the big picture. So essentially, after record highs again, 3 trading sessions ago. So middle of last week, we saw them pop back into this range, and now they all just look range bound again. Again, that's a fairly significant 2-day drop on Thursday and Friday. 2.5, 3% now. Yeah, I do think there's a bit of a shakeout in gold. I think once it started to sell, then people who have been in gold for a long time possibly took some of it off the table. It was a fairly, silver was just astounding. Same deal, and of course, once the selling starts, then you get people having to unwind margin positions. You get people panicking that it's not going to bounce up. I still remain. So that essentially, people are now terrified it's going to drift below this 4,600 level. I would think that's a key technical leverage that holds that. We should be good. There's not been a drop like this for some time. What was this one? See, that was a 10.5% retracement, so it's not unusual for gold to give quite a bit when it's been on a rampage. 8% there, possibly about the same there. But it is a significant drop, whichever way you slice it, and it's the speed of it which was interesting. Right. Okay. Let's have a look at some FX crosses. Here's the US yen. Obviously, a good session on Friday for the US. Put it into context. A really nice bounce off of 200 MA, and upward back into this range. Maybe 156 is on the cards. But to me, and actually, there's not much stopping it. Hey, this is really, really sort of even on an hourly chart. It's quite. Let's just take that back. I'm trying to. Just change some of these horizontal line codes so easy to see. Yeah, around about 156 looks like a reasonable level based on this price action back early Jan. And mid-December. There's early Jan. So move back over here, which we've done 154.77, and could be sort of, as I said, towards 156. If we look at the Euro USD, not a dissimilar story. So a strong session. On Friday, so a fairly significant drop. And just a little bit of a bounce of 118. Very difficult to pitch where things, how to file things at the moment. This looks as though it's bouncing off this 118.40. It could move back up to 119. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure there's going to be the. I'm not sure there's going to be the impetus to do that. Here's the Euro Aussie, which got belted on the back of good jobs numbers out of Australia. Good CPI out of Australia. Warm CPI out of Australia wasn't good. Which sort of gives that green light, as I've already referenced to the for the RBA. But you can see a bounce off this 169, 170 area over the last 3 days, but it's very, very choppy. Wouldn't be looking at this. Maybe if it reaches 171, there's a possible for 60 pips is a stretch. Maybe about a 45 to 50. It's a tricky on Monday morning. This is the truth. Let's just do a. I'm just going to flick to some share CFDs. Okay, let's just check out what sectors are doing. Resources, not surprisingly, getting belted. Telecom utilities, two very defensive sectors, are doing well today. Geo is obviously the drag on the market. But yeah, generally looking worse. We're almost down 1% now. Okay, so let's look at our uranium stocks, which we're doing pretty well. They've just Paladin just stuck around this 1410. It certainly doesn't look as though it's. Oh, there it is. There's a light scandal. Let's just bring this up. Just sort of hiding here in Doja land. So it's yeah. So essentially, what it's done is it's retraced back to this sort of short-term range it was in. Oh, there's lots of grain corps got belted. Speed. That looks like an earnings thing, but obviously the gold stocks have been whacked. Whitehaven Coal still looking remarkable. It's Qantas on the way past, which looks quite bearish. Whitehaven Coal we referenced a few times last week, and then we had sort of this move, this retracement Friday. What a big bounce that is off $9. I'm going to struggle to find a chart today. I think I am. Elders looks interesting without being staggeringly good and not ready to pop yet. Our retailers doing. Let's look at Nick Scully. There again, a pullback. Nice level on NCK though. Maybe worth keeping an eye on 26 over the course of the week. So I'm not seeing continuation in much at all. Media in the marketing space, nice bounce today. Really, this is on the back of happy time. But yeah, that support's been on at 122. Not seeing a lot of upside in that in the short term. GPW, again, it's the same story again. All of these stocks are holding support. Essentially, is the price action. No. Star. This star been all over the place. So a lot of the aerospace stocks pulled back last sort of week or so. DRO, which is one of the major Australian, which looks good. NEC, okay. So that's a really nice move on 9. Okay, that was the previous level of interest. Just draw it properly. There's the support. There's the resistance. Really nice bounce today. That's surely got to be corporate. Let's just go and have a look. Yeah. Alex, sorry, strategic transformation. I wonder if this is part of a. New media company, that's obviously gone down very well. APX. Appen Limited. Oh, belted today a little bit. Hasn't that done well in 2026 so far? I don't think it's on. It's on MT5. So the GOS version of MT5. It was one that we tracked for a long time when it was. No, it's not there. But yeah, certainly that breach of 150 looks significant. Particularly, it was down here at sort of 78. So that hit $2. Wow, that's a big move. Good report, already reported on the 29th. So that was obviously well received. Just a pullback today, but that's a massive move. Have you been in that whole time, Johnny? It looks good. AI stock. For those of you who don't know APX. Primarily sort of in the data storage place. I'm just not finding anything, guys. Maybe that's just a sort of day where we just say, hey, it's okay, we'll come back tomorrow. It's cool, yeah. Just watch yourself when buying any Australian stocks at the moment, just simply because of the proximity of a lot of earnings. Yeah, me too. Let's just zip. Let's just zip over here. Zip around about. They're just so decimated. Let's just have a look at Fortescue, see what iron ore stocks are doing. Yeah, they pulled back a little bit. And then let's check out Flight Centre. Ooh. Right, Flight Centre look actually, thank goodness for the scanner. Flight Centre actually looked really good for a trend continuation. Probably important that it closes over Friday's level there. I think that's the one to watch into the close, see what it's doing. And context is always important. And you can see the importance of this level that it breached at around about $16. This 200 MA is sort of interesting, which is at 1662. Possible target up to around about 18 if we look at previous market structure to dictate that. Yep, we like that. Let's just see if there's anything else that Sky can talk for us. Let's see Bag of Cheese. Let's see if they're doing anything interesting. And they are indeed. Yes, you can drop me a line. I'll tell you how to get it. 630 is the key level on BGA. This high is not seen since 2020. Possible upside to around about 650. More than that, maybe. There's the so you might sort of suggest that 657 could be interesting. Anyway. All good. Okay, and I think I'm probably going to leave the US alone for today. Simply because it's just a really hard one to call. So keep an eye on BEGA, which looks good, as does as did Flight Centre. Some decisions to be made in terms of how well or otherwise that fits plan. And yeah. So if that's it, once again, thank you very much to you all. You guys take care of yourselves. Hey, we'll see you somewhere. Inner Circle will still be on Wednesday. If you want to pop into that, that'd be wonderful. But things obviously may change. But for now, this is me signing out. from live updates, at least on Go Markets, and we shall see you again soon. Trade safe. It could be a really sort of interesting few days, so just go a little canny. That's an odd English thing. Just go a little easy over the next few days. Make sure that you keep an eye on exposure as well. And I will see some of you tonight, obviously, on the EA sessions. I look forward to that. And we'll see you very soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you are watching on YouTube, or if you watch on Catch Up, if you just click a little thumbs up button, that would be wonderful. And we'll see you so soon. You guys take care. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. You're welcome, Simon. Thanks, Wayne. And Johnny. Yeah, I'll see you very soon, man. You guys take care. Bye-bye for now.